interesting thing. Oh,
all right,
no.
we're live.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that 0 to 1 million and 1 to 10 million is that it's easy to start doing the things that need to be done at 1 to 10 million into the 0 to 1 million stage. Right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're jumping the gun there, right? Yeah, because and then you create the complexity in the business, which makes it harder. And this is where we both got trapped, right? Is because now the complexity of the business requires overhead. You don't have the money to buy the staff to manage the overhead, so you basically get yourself into walking through the mud. Now you're moving slower because you got to handle all this shit. Yeah, that's exactly the problem that we face. So
yeah, it's fascinating, like how the simplicity side of the equation is so important, especially in this phase of, and every phase, I guess, but this phase of business. Oh, how are things with you, man? What's new?
Let's see what's new. So I'm working with a guy that like we talked about last week. I just put together the branding video. I just need to get it edited for the landing page.
Branding video. It's the VSL.
Yeah, it's the VSL. Yeah,
he calls it the branding video.
Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting. The script we're using for it, the training kind of we're using for it, is actually from what Max put together, RSD Max or Max.
Really?
Yeah, because he teaches business coaching, like essentially this whole sales process. Like a lot of the training that this guy came from Max. I talked to Max actually about this as well. But because Max put together, man, that guy, he did good for himself because he got out of the dating field and he got into the business coaching field. And then he started teaching people how to become business coaches, which is fucking brilliant, right? Because he's got a good system and it works. And he's doing a lot of, like, it's similar to, like, if you've been following what Brandon Carter does in the fitness space. Brandon Carter teaches people now how to build fitness coaching businesses, high ticket fitness coaching businesses.
You know who he learned it from?
I don't know who.
The guy I was telling you about. Oh, there's actually a testimonial of his from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I'm putting together that, and it looks promising. I think we'll do well with that. You know, they'll be managing the whole sales team and that. I talked to another guy that actually, it's funny, another guy reached out to me that's doing a very similar thing. And the only difference is that he specializes, well, he does a full service thing, a much higher rate. They were talking about like 40%, stuff like that.
How long is the contract though? That's more important to me.
It's an unlimited contract. It's a committed contract, like for life.
You can never get out of it.
Yeah.
Screw that. Get the hell out of here, man.
Well, but the guy was pretty honest though, because he was like, you know what? He's like, if you did something, you should have me run your ads, and then you create your own sales team, and I would help you build a sales team this way, that like you have that in-house.
Like still the 40% part, till when does that go on?
Well, he said if you wanted to have us do everything, then that would be. So it's interesting. I mean, there's a couple of people out there. It's a really smart business model of taking people that have large audience
going up right now
and sell them, and then teach them how to build high ticket, and then do it for them, like a done for you high ticket program. Because there's so many, there's a huge, you build an agency based off of that, you're making ridiculous money, right?
It's a new wave.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Those are pretty interesting business models. There's a lot of people doing that right now, but the guy I'm working with, I think is going to be solid, and he's going to be dedicated to getting my stuff off the ground. He doesn't have 15 different clients to manage. So,
well, when are you guys rolling this out? The video?
Well, it should be like the official launch of it is in 2 weeks from now. So
nice.
I just need to get the editing done. They're working on the landing page right now.
Oh, so you already recorded the video?
I recorded the video. I wrote a script for it, and then I did two takes of it. One of them where I'm basically reading the script line by line, pause, and so we'll have to edit all that. And then one where I just kind of freeform it from the script, and then we're going to A/B test that to see.
So they wrote the script for you. You didn't have any input on it?
No, I wrote the script. He gave me an outline for a script that came from Max's training.
So it's a VSL script, basically, kind of getting.
It's very similar to what
webinar secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's where Max probably got it. If you think about it, because that's probably where the source.
All of mass market sales has basically come from expert secrets, more or less.
Oh yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Like it's just whether you're doing it for an hour and a half or whether you're doing it for 10 minutes, still got to be able to give the same message. Like shares, you got to change that one belief and tell them that your way is a better way, or not better way. It's a new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
A better way will get you in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a totally new opportunity. Yeah. So, I mean, my goal with it is basically to show them, just like we talked about in the webinar, is that the traditional financial advice that if you follow it, you're not going to become wealthy at a young age. Like you'll retire in your 70s if you're lucky. Right. And you're certainly not going to become rich, and it's just no way. It's not possible. Right. And everything that you've tried, it doesn't work. There's no way around it. You have to have something different. So I think that's a pretty easy sell for people to believe that, because the numbers are so easy to show people. So, but yeah, so that's kind of the what I've been working on. And then the self-confidence thing, man, I have zero sales from that. Like from that video, nothing. And then I had a bunch of people drop into the funnel because I had an Instagram, confidence quiz thing. And I have people coming in from purchasing the book. And I just put a new funnel in place that I A/B tested with email sequence. So people haven't hit the bottom of that funnel yet, but so far, 0 conversions, which is insane. Because I feel like there's a solid sales page. I feel like the offer is really solid. But you know what I think the problem might be in this case is that people really don't care that much about self-confidence as an outcome, right? I think that is not it's an in-between outcome, right? Like, what do people care? They care about getting laid. They care about making money. They care about, right? Confidence is a road to doing those things, but having self-confidence as an outcome itself is not something that is valuable enough for someone to pay for. I mean, maybe if you have a specific audience built around it, like what's his name, our mutual friend that is kind of selling that, but with his social channel, but if it's specifically like your audience is around that problem, then sure, I think you could sell a product in it. But in this case, it's like people are interested in self-confidence book. They're interested in hearing some stuff about self-confidence, but it doesn't seem like they're interested in doing a 12-week program. Like a specific outcome would probably be a better thing. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about that. I'm not going to spend much time on that. I'm done with it. Like I have the funnel in place. I have it. It's going to be A/B tested, and it's just sitting out there. My main focus is the high ticket thing, but now I can tie a bow on it. And later, maybe at some point I could revisit it and pivot it towards a specific outcome instead of the self-confidence, and we'll see. I mean, maybe, as people come through the funnel, that it'll,
I mean, it kind of goes back to the idea that we've been playing around with, like doing fewer things.
Yeah.
Doing lesser things is really the path to growth, because we can plug all the funnel leaks all we want, and we'll never be done with that. It's only going to add more complexity across the board to all our systems and processes, and only going to slow us down, right? As you said, walking in mud. So it's almost like imperative to say, well, screw 90% of the products and just let's make this one product is basically what he's saying. But yeah, basically make this one thing, one funnel work, more or less.
Yeah, one product, one channel. That makes the most. And it's because it doesn't even really matter what the channel. I mean, you could, if you're focused on just one product and one channel, you can make it work. Right. Mm-hmm. Even if it were blogging, right? I mean, if your whole focus, if you just had one product, you create that product and you didn't have to do any maintenance on the product because you had that, that you weren't creating new products, you weren't doing any kind of other bullshit. And all you did was focus on, writing hiring writers and writing 3 blog posts a day, whatever it took to, like, you could use that channel and you could make that work. And I use that as an example because that's the hardest channel to make work today, right? But you could make it work and you could make $1 million. I'm confident of that, as long as you had a high ticket product.
It has to be high ticket, and it's just going to take longer trying to go down that route compared to other faster routes these days. You can stick with blogging, podcasting, YouTube, and make it work. And YouTube for sure is a faster velocity channel today.
Sure.
Blogging is, even podcasting is faster velocity, but it has to be higher ticket. Cannot be, and higher ticket sold in a high touch environment, whether it's through a sales call or through a webinar. Selling it through a sales page, again, it's a drag, man. That's not gonna get people that level of success. Or sales pages aren't really designed for high ticket products.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even at $500, I think sales pages are failing nowadays. It's very rare to get a sales page to convert at $500. Probably like $100-$200 is all you can get out of a sales page.
Well, what I'm finding too is, I sent out emails to both of my lists yesterday, right? And I put tracking links in there, like short links. And if I look at, this is kind of crazy, right? So both of my lists, I put a very simple, even short email, right? Saying, I have this self-confidence quiz, just to put them in the top of the funnel in the quiz. And guess how many people clicked on the quiz? So my Bulldog Mindset list, I think I sent it to like 25,000 people. I'm going to
guess 1%.
I had 200 clicks.
Okay. So 0.8%.
Right. So, and then on the simple programmer list, I had like 194 clicks, or maybe
that list is bigger.
Oh, no. Hold on. The Bulldog, I had 194 clicks. On simple programmer, I had 200 clicks. And the simple programmer list is like, I sent it to like 50,000 people. So when you think about that, like, shit, that's the simplest thing. Take this 10-question quiz. Like, it's a very simple ask, right? Like, you're just getting free value. You're giving free value in that case. Email marketing is really, it's not dead, but it's dying. Like, it is becoming so much less effective than what it was before, right? Open rates are declining, but not just the open rates, but people are just not paying attention. They're not reading the emails. They're not responding to emails. They're not clicking on the things. It's just, that's why it's like the high touch stuff is becoming more and more critical, either through ads, through webinar, through DMs on Instagram, right? Like, well, here's a good example, right? When I did my story on Instagram, right? And I did a story and I just said, like, I did a video and I said, hey, DM me the words passive income if you're interested. I got like 200 DMs.
Yeah.
Right. And guess how many people saw that story? 3,000 people. So I got 200 DMs, 200 people that actually not 10%. Just had to click a link, right? 7%, but had to message me and type words. Okay. Out of 3,000 views. So, even though email marketing is the thing that like we learned and we became experts at and we built our entire business on, I think it's sort of coming to this point where we have to face the truth that email marketing is not dead, but it's certainly dying, and it's definitely not as effective as other mediums now, right? So
yeah, it is getting there. It is definitely not the same anymore. And that's why I think as marketing evolves and changes, when you have the right opportunity, the right offer, you got to just go after it hard with the right marketing channel and figure out a way to work that channel rather than just use the channel that you feel is what you have right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like saying, okay, this is a channel where I have the high, like, there is always, like, within your realm of expertise, there is a channel that has the highest leverage.
Exactly. Yeah.
You one conversion mechanism. So here's how I'm like there's a conversion mechanism on the back end, and then there is the marketing channel on the front end, right?
Yeah.
So it's a combination of the right marketing channel and the right conversion mechanism. That's ultimately what you need.
Yeah.
Right. So if your Instagram is allowing you to do that, and you can continue to just blow up your Instagram for the next 1 year, and like there's another strategy that the other guy teaches, which is shout outs, like literally paying other influencers in your domain
to shout you out on Instagram,
to give you a shout out on Instagram and have them follow you, have their followers follow you for like 100, $200, $300, depending on how big the influencers are, and even asking them for specific calls to action, and then following up and doing the whole DM game.
Well,
it's becoming a big thing right now.
And it's even like, you know, I mean, I've done some of the shout out stuff. I feel like a lot of time, I mean, it's really difficult to get the right, you know, people.
There's a whole system. There's a whole system to this madness.
It's still indirect, but even just the reels, like with Instagram reels, like all of my Instagram following right now, I've got 90,000 followers on Instagram. It's completely organic, right? So because my reels get 50, 60,000 views on each reel, and I bring in another, like every 7 days, I get a new 1,000 or so people that follow me, 1,500 people that follow me on Instagram. So that organic, having that organic people that watched your reel and then followed you, those are extremely valuable people. Whereas shout outs, I mean, yeah, it's going to work, but in the past I've looked at it, and like a lot of the people that follow you because of the shout out are not really super interested. They're interested in the person that shouted you out, but it's way different when someone looks at your content and then follows you. Those are much more engaged.
That's anyways, there's a whole system, and people are doing it, and people making hundreds of $1,000s per month doing that, just kind of putting it out there. And I know some of those people who are doing it every freaking month.
Yeah.
Through shout outs, they're making like 60, 70K, 80K just from shout outs to DMs. And this is like, you're saying, well, they're not the best. Well, I get it.
Right. Yeah. No, but it's,
the game is the follow-up game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're following up with them like maniacally. They got systems and processes to follow up with them. And then as a result, they're able to like say, oh yeah, well, even if you get 1%, 2% of those new people to buy your $5,000 product, it literally, it's a win. It's a game you can't lose at that point. And those numbers, if it's a $5,000 product.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've been telling a lot of my coaching clients now, like as we're looking at some of the high ticket stuff, is that to just start off with as high touch as possible, and then you back it down from there.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like the highest touch thing that you can do is directly reach out to people on DMs, let's say, for instance,
talk to them,
and then jump on a call with them, a Zoom call, and then, you know, try to sell your product from there. And then if you have success at doing that, well, one, you start making money already. And then from there, you can back it down. Now, if you want to try and make it so that, you know, you have less of a high touch, you can see where that drop off is, as opposed to going the opposite way, where you start with a sales page.
We started with the stupidest idea, which is like, we started with like doing the hardest thing first, which is low touch sales page, build a large audience, send them to these sales pages. Like, it's like someone put a gun to my head, man. You know, the other side of the equation, which is very high touch and very low tech and very small audience, that and very high ticket, right?
Yeah.
High ticket, small audience, high touch. That's where the game should be initially, not
exactly
sales pages, large audience building, selling a mid ticket or low ticket price point product. Like anything under 1,000 is still more or less mid low ticket considered these days. So it's a game that it's the only game a starter should play today.
No, it's true.
I
agree.
Go play high ticket game for now till you get to 6 figures, and then you can worry about if you need anything else. And maybe you'll never will, because you'll just sell that high ticket right away.
Well, I mean, and even like just the math on it, right? Because if you're like, okay, you know, $1 million a year business, right? Then that means that like if you sell something for $3,000, let's say that's high ticket, you know, you need 333, right? So divided by 12, because you need to sell 27, you need to sell 28 a month, or you need to sell one a day. That's it. Can you sell one thing a day? That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, with all the hustle and hard work. Yeah. That's the game. So
and you can look at it that way. It's like, how many leads do you need to sell one high ticket program per day? Probably 20, right? If you have 20 leads, you can probably make one sale.
Yeah, I mean, there's mechanics,
5%,
there's all math
right.
behind it, depending on which channel, like which channel of acquisition you're using. You can go into a lot of like you can get really granular with those numbers, like IG shout outs. What are the reference numbers? Typically, if you're falling below those, then it was not a good shout out, versus this is a good shout out, and so on and so forth. I'm excited to hear how this all unfolds. You said 2 weeks, right? So May 1st week, second week is when you guys will roll this out.
Yeah.
And at that point, you will only sell the $5,000 version on phone, and there's a downsell of the $2,000 version without the coaching, right?
Yeah, I got to work out the details on that. I think some of the downsell too is also like, the platinum membership by itself. Like there's a few different options for doing the downsell, right? Depending on
sell the course, because that's what they showed interest in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah, otherwise they get distracted.
Yeah, without the coaching. And then there'll be an upsell to like a $15,000 upsell will be the one-on-one coaching with me and the course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that'll be either $15,000 or $20,000.
No, it shouldn't be one-on-one. It should still be group coaching.
Well, that one would be one-on-one because this is already a group coaching.
Oh, this is already
component.
A group coaching.
Yeah.
So that would need one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah. But, one-on-one at that price tag will be worth doing so.
Yeah. Sometimes people can get more value out of group than one-on-one too. So it's because it's a large group versus small group. Like you can be like, it's limited to only 4 people.
Yeah.
Or 5 people. How many people do you get on the calls these days with the?
It's interesting.
That never runs dry.
Well, I've got the 2 calls, right? So in the morning one, I think it's usually like 6 people. And in the evening one, it's more like 15 to 20. Right?
Wow. Big difference.
Which is what I kind of expected to. So there's like 60 people in the program right now, right? And then, really only, what's it like 20, 25 people maybe are showing up. So half show up rate which is
actually good compared to if you sold the same program for $300, nobody would show up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And to some degree, I mean, you don't want everybody to show up because then it doesn't scale as good. So, but yeah.
So are you doing more like when there's like 15, 20 people? Is it still Q&A? Like
what I do
Q&A?
If it's a small group, then I kind of do more round robin, like let's talk about
your problems.
Yeah. If it's a bigger group, then I will like focus on some people, like do more Q&A type of things and focus on that and try to relate it to everyone or ask questions like, where are you guys at? What do you guys think about this? Where they put it in the chat. That's kind of how I've been running it. And then I just like, what I re-emphasize on every single one of the calls is, look, this is for you. Like if you're stuck right now, if you don't know what your next step is, speak up, because this is what this call is for, right? Like my goal for every single one of you in this program is that I'm here. Like we have the calls, so there's no excuse. Like there's like, if there's something that you don't know, something that's missing from the course, something that like you need to know what the next step is, let's talk about it. And so I give those people priority so that, because everyone else I assume, is humming along. But I figured by, having that call to action in every single coaching call, it's going to achieve the maximum satisfaction because, what else can I do besides give you everything that you need to succeed? Right. What I mean? It's like, if you're stuck, you don't know what to do, let's talk, I'll tell you. Right. So, I feel like that's a good way to make sure that, everyone's getting what they need out of the program. So,
yeah. You want to go over my webinar?
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right, let's do it. Okay. The 9-second forcing function trigger that doubles your hourly output. No apps or systems to install, no habits or routines to create, no willpower needed, no courses to study.
Hold on, go back to that. Let me just see. 9-second forcing function trigger that doubles your hourly output. So the only thing that I would say about this title that I'm not 100% confident is how many people know what a forcing function is?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter. It's the point of the 9-second part, right?
Okay. Okay.
It's the curiosity hook.
I see. Okay. Doubles your hourly output. That makes sense.
So
okay.
it's
So
like
forcing function trigger is the question.
I don't
like,
expect anyone to know about it.
Yeah.
Right. If they knew about it, then they probably wouldn't watch it.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Right. So that's my take on it. Like if they know all about it, then there's nothing left to watch.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, this is you. This is what your plan was for the day. You got this project A, project B, project C. You thought you would be clean, cut lines, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 2 to 5, and you're done for the day. But this is what your day looks like.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay. Yeah.
Right. It's a mishmash of all sorts of things. Email, Slack, project, email, web browsing, project, unimportant random shit, emails, project D and project G and project F and emails and social media and videos and Skype, and shit goes on. Before you know it, your plan has nothing to do with what really happened.
Right.
I'm guessing this is not your first time. Basically, this is like telling them that, hey, I understand you. The first thing I want to mention, and also kind of confirming, like allaying their fears in some ways, because they feel right now they've failed at productivity. And it's true. Right. The first thing I want to mention is that if you failed at being highly productive on a consistent hourly basis, it's not your fault. The productivity industry has failed us all by never understanding the true cause of our productivity struggles. Yes, there are plenty of books, courses, apps, systems, habits, routines, all that stuff out there, but they don't address the one fundamental human flaw that keeps us stuck in toxic patterns of up and down productivity. By the way, you should stop me anytime you want to understand what's going on here or what you think is right or wrong. I mean, we've been sold the dream in every book, in every system, in everything that's out there. The dream is up. You just cleanly do your work.
Okay.
All day. But the reality is way far from it. It's a messed up reality for most of us. Even after we think our willpowers and habits and routines are like going to help us, they don't. After a few days, they all fail. If you're concerned because you feel you have tried every productivity solution out there, let me tell you the story of one of our members, Akash. He had been struggling with ADHD since he has been diagnosed of ADHD at the age of, he was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 12. And here's what he said: I've been struggling with ADHD since I was 12. I tried everything, courses, apps, seminar, therapy, books. Nothing worked for me consistently. It was hit or miss all the time. Even ADHD meds didn't work for me. I was struggling all the time. But Focus Blocks finally gave me the productivity I was desperately looking for all my life. I did 3 months of work in just 2.5 weeks using Focus Blocks. So that's Akash. He's an entrepreneur, freelancer. And maybe you are working long hours and still feeling like you're far, far behind where you should have been. There are people out there who doubt you and think you can't make it. Well, everything changes when you literally double your productivity on demand. Once you start doubling your daily work output, you become a lethal threat to your haters, doubters, and competitors. And maybe this is what you want to tell your haters, doubters, and competitors very, very soon. You see, the better you are at maximizing your productivity, the worse you can be at everything else in life and still be a big success in life. Why? Because when you double your hourly productivity, you are literally outworking your competition by a factor of 2 without working a minute longer than usual.
Okay.
So maybe if I go through it like this, it will take forever. Maybe what I can do is kind of give you a synopsis.
Let's go through like, or we could go through the slides kind of briefly. I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the better you are at Mexico. So here I'm kind of telling them that a little bit going into their pains and also giving them testimonial. Here's another testimonial of one of our clients, Shelly. She says, as a result of using focus blocks, I've doubled my monthly income in just 3 months. Yeah. And she's a real estate agent. She's like, we haven't even gotten to the peak season of real estate transactions. And I've been trying, and she told me, like, I was like, hey, Shelly, how much of this is related to focus blocks and how much of this you're just doing the work and the market being so frothy? She's like, I've been at it for 10 years by myself. I couldn't figure out by myself. I was always distracted, so much shit to do and never really on top of everything. Well, finally, because of focus blocks, things have changed. So, and if you feel that I will sell you on something that you don't want, well, let me ask you this. If you could double your productivity and hence your income, would you pay me 1% of the upside? Does that sound fair? Now, this is like confirming their fears, confirming their suspicions.
Right.
Because they have the suspicion that I'm going to try and sell them something. Right.
Right.
So again, going back to tell me if this is you, if this is what you wanted, and this is how what you ended up, you thought you would get project A, project B, project C done. What you have is project A half-ass done, project B not much done, project C not much done, and a whole bunch of emails and phone calls and social media and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and text and Skype and Slack scattered all in between all of it, right? Or maybe what you wanted to feel at the end of the day is energized, accomplished, feeling like you won the day, feeling good, feeling fulfilled. But what you end up with is feeling unfocused, scattered, frustrated, all over the place, burnt out, unhappy, and feeling like, man, I'll have to grind it out again tonight. Yeah. Does this speak to the pain enough? Like, is this?
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. I think that hits the nail on the head. The only thing I've seen so far that is the 1% of the upside. I feel like that's not enough, because I think if I do the math on that, right, if my upside is $100,000, then I'm only paying you $1,000. Right,
that's true. Right now, I'm actually assuming, so that is true.
So I think that I don't know, I would rephrase that, or like give it, like, I see what you're trying to do there, but I don't think that's impactful enough.
So what would you do? Or should I take this out?
I mean, you could make it 10% of the upside, because what you have to do is, like, whatever you say here that you're saying, is this fair? The price that they think is fair needs to be a lot higher than what you're actually going to charge them, right? In this case, it's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
You know, if it's even 10% might not be enough, because if they made $100,000, 10% is only 10,000, right? And are they really going to double the productivity and make 100,000? Like, realistically, most people, what are they going to value doubling their productivity at? Right? They're not going to value it at double what they're making. They're going to say, well, double my productivity might increase my income by 25%. I would say, you know, I think that's a more realistic scenario. So I think just avoiding this part of it, it may be like, what about, okay, instead of saying doubling your productivity, what about if I could give you your time back, right? If I could half the time that you need to do the work, right? If I could save you 20 hours a week, you know,
that's a tough one, man. Because
how much would you pay for that?
Well, I don't need this slide. That's, you know, I can kind of take it out. I don't have to have the slide, because people don't pay for giving them more time. That's something I've learned the hard way. Kind of like, it's like the confidence game. People don't really care for it. It's not enough of a tangible outcome for them to be like, okay, well, take my money and give me a few more hours of the day. In fact, even though you and I know it's like the most precious thing, and we all know it's the most precious thing, but people just don't part with their money as much for getting their time back as much as they part with money to get their money back, to get more money back.
I guess maybe the better question is to ask, like, let me ask you this, if I could double your productivity, what would that enable you to do? What would that mean for you? How valuable would that be to you? Like, something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
If you are in fact, don't say double your productivity. Say if you could get twice the work done in the same amount of time, that sounds more tangible. Like double your productivity is less tangible, but if you say if you could get twice the amount of work
do 2
done,
days of work in one day,
right? Yeah. Or even more specifically, say if every day when you worked, you got 2 days of work done, right? You got today's and tomorrow's work done in one day. What would that be worth to you, or how would that change your life, or what kind of price tag would you put on that? Something along those lines, I think.
Okay. Yeah. If you could do 2 days of work every single day, how would it change your life? Well, the thing is, I'm probably not going to use that in this slide because I may not just go with this. Okay, so this is okay. Like let's move forward.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the frustration that most people have, right?
Right.
The dream that they've been sold compared to the reality. And I'm saying, well, as a result of this frustration, you're constantly looking for that new app, that new book, that new course, that new system, the new habit to finally fix your productivity vows. And I want to tell you, it's not your fault, because the productivity industry has failed us because they don't know how to overcome the most fundamental human flaw that keeps us all stuck in this toxic pattern of erratic productivity up and down. Well, the good news is that I've finally identified this elusive flaw and figured out how to overcome it 100% of the time. And I'll share the solution with you today. So here's everything you will learn today: the 9-second forcing function trigger that doubles your hourly output, the one reason why every productivity system, app, course, journal, book fails you, and why you keep looking for new solutions all the time, the 3 key elements you must have in order to double your hourly productivity on demand. Most apps, systems, books, courses, etc., can't give you even one of these things. And the live human forcing functions, the little known high performance secret of top CEOs and athletes that's very expensive for most people to use until now.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. I like this. Good
You
curiosity.
Like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which of these, where did you say this is good?
I mean, I think that the strongest one, Sarah, is the last one, the one about the CEOs and athletes. And then the number one reason why every productivity system fails you, why you keep looking for new solutions. I think those are the 2 strongest ones.
Maybe I should move that one up, because mostly people look at the top and the bottom a lot of times. Okay. And then ready to learn how to double your productivity without blah, 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 blah. See, and then I asked them to turn off their distractions for the short time we have together. Then I have your testimonial here, give you my A level, will you? So a little bit about learning. So who is this for? My goal, how it all came to be. Okay, so this is where the story starts.
Okay.
So a little bit about me. I'm the founder of 2000 Books, founder of Focusbox. And before all of this, I was a computer engineer at Fortune 500 companies, Qualcomm, TI, Nokia. And I have a business called 2000 Books, where we summarize knowledge from the world's greatest books. YouTube, 2000 Books has 80,000 subscribers, podcast over 2 million downloads.
Hey, you're going to get that 100,000 plaque pretty soon.
I know. 87 right now. So I guess hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah.
So I've read over 1,500 self-help and business books, especially in the field of personal development, like productivity, goal achievement, execution, mental toughness, social skills, marketing, confidence. And I've summarized a lot of these books. So over time, as I learned from these productivity and time management books, I created systems for myself, took the best ideas and kept on creating systems, fine-tuning it, creating more and more systems. And people started asking me how I was reading hundreds of books while doing my work, while running a business. So I released the productivity system to the world, 2000 books. It's called Double Your Productivity by 5 p.m. tomorrow. We have a lot of testimonials. People loved it, literally saying like they doubled their productivity overnight. Testimonial 1, testimonial 2, 3, 4, 5. But, And this was going on for a while, and I thought I had it all down. But early to 2021, everything changed. I was running my business for almost 5 years, and it was a growth curve, stressed and challenged. And one fine day, my girlfriend dropped the bomb on me. She's like, "You don't spend much time with me. You're never present. You work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's not working." And she's like, "I want to break up with you." And I was shocked. So I was like, it's just a passing phase. I need to work hard during this time as I'm growing, trying to grow the business rapidly. I'm doing this for us, the future. She did not budge. And she's like, "Either you work hours change or we break up." And in that moment, I was crushed. I was forced to dig deep and analyze everything. She was right. I was working crazy hours. I thought I needed to work long hours in order to grow the business. But the truth was, I was not highly productive anymore. I thought I was the productivity guru. But when she wanted to break up because I was not being productive, it was quite an irony for me. And I was struggling to understand why I was failing to be productive. I had thousands of customers using my productivity solutions, even though I had created this course called Double Your Productivity by 5 p.m. tomorrow. I myself was not able to do that anymore. And I knew one thing in my heart. I was not doing and following my own system every minute, every hour, every day. And it's not that I didn't want to follow it. It's one of the best productivity systems ever created, but I was highly inconsistent at following it every hour, every day. You see, it's really good system, but it's very hard to precisely follow any system every day, every hour, every moment. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get myself to implement my own system every day, every hour, every moment I was working. And even though I had read and summarized all of the greatest books on self-control and self-discipline and willpower and motivation and habits and routines and rituals and productivity and goals, I would stick to the system for a few hours or a few days or a few weeks, but then I would fall off the wagon trying to get back on it over and over and over again. I kept thinking, why? Why am I failing? No matter how many times I tried to create the habit of sticking to my systems, I would fall off. And more often than not, this is how my days would unfold. Even though my calendar looked beautifully planned and structured, my days had no structure. My plan was like, okay, cleanly defined projects. But what really happened was a mishmash. What I thought my day would look like was calm, focused, and controlled. But what it really ended up being was total frustration, busy, craziness, overwhelm, all that stuff. A lot of times I didn't start on time, even though maybe I said I'll start at 7 a.m. I would say, I'm not feeling ready right now. So 7 a.m. would become 7:24, watching videos, checking news, checking emails, 24 minutes wasted, flush down the toilet, hundreds of dollars of time wasted just like that. And I would delay and procrastinate on the difficult, the important stuff. Even when I finally get down to work at 7:24, now I'm not doing the important project. Instead, I'm like warming up with the easy project. Like we just do project C instead of project A, and delaying and procrastinating on the important stuff. Can you relate to this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is perfect. This is exactly. Yeah.
My hours were unstructured, no boundaries. And as a result, my days were also unstructured and lack boundary. When your hours are unstructured, your days are unstructured. Yep. And even though I had planned my day and created my time boundaries on the calendar, I didn't respect my own boundaries. But the only time boundaries I respected were meetings with others. That's what we all do.
Right? Exactly. This is perfect. Yes.
Because, no structure. My calendar said 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. project A. But 7:04, I'm checking my phone and then I'm responding to text. And then this WhatsApp message shows up and I start on project A. And I'm like, oh, this message, I can't believe she said that. And she's so mean. And it's 7:08. And I'm now checking news because I'm stuck in that what she said. And now I'm quickly checking Facebook and I'm still thinking I need to start on project A. And it's 7:14 a.m. And I'm like, oh, this video is funny. And oh, these Skype messages, let me attend to all of these Skype messages from my team last night and go through all of them. And now it's like 7:27 a.m. And now, like, I don't even feel like starting on project A.
Right.
So I'm like, let me just do something a little bit easier.
Focus, priority, both out the window.
Both out the window.
Yeah, the two elements. Yeah,
the two elements. So what I thought would be clean lines of starting at project A at 7 a.m. or end of what was very little work done at the end of the day because I was just all over the place. And instead of feeling accomplished and winning the day, I was burnt out, needing motivation, unhappy, unsatisfied, and just resorting to grinding it out all day, all night, because that's the only thing you're left with when you are, when you don't have a way to follow through on systems and habits and routines. And like when you're dependent on your willpower and motivation and discipline only, then this is what happens. Ultimately, we break down and we start to grinding it out. So a lot of times it's distraction, the phone, then checking phone, and then you start 1 to 2, you would be working project B, but the phone beeps, you're checking the phone and you're trying to summon all your willpower and self-control to start project B, but you're responding to messages and then they will respond back. And now you're in the middle of a text conversation and you're feeling frustrated because of what they said. And now you want to go back to project B, and now it's 1:15 p.m. and you're starting project B again, feeling distracted because of the text conversation. And now you check your email just to get over that text conversation. And now you check Facebook to just get over that email shit that you saw. And now it's 1:23 p.m. and you're checking the other email account. And now you're clicking the link in that. And now you're watching a video. And now you're buying a product at 1:27 p.m. Well, instead you should be doing project B. You were supposed to be doing project B. And that's what happens for most of us during the day. And I thought, when I got serious with myself, I thought I needed, when I looked at my reality compared to what I had planned, I thought, okay, I need more discipline, more willpower, more motivation, more self-control, just make it a habit, brute force, stick to it, more hard work. So I kept on trying harder and harder and harder to build, but it was very difficult to stay consistent with my own systems and habits. And I'm like, why? What's wrong? I mean, I'm trying so hard, doing exactly what the books are telling me. What is something wrong with me? And in that moment, I had a moment of crisis. I thought, I'm not the productivity guru I claim to be. Maybe I should stop selling all the productivity courses. And I knew that if I did that, it would just crush the business, end of my dreams. And I was thinking, man, this is like a complete breakdown right here. I don't know what the hell to do. And in that moment, I had a huge realization. I was reminded of all the customers who were on my coaching calls for double your productivity by 5 p.m. tomorrow over the years. And more often than not, these were a constant set of complaints that I doubled my productivity when I followed it exactly, but it's hard to follow the system. I love the system, but I can't stick to it. I get great results from it when I use it, but I just can't use it every day. How can I make a habit? How can I stick to the system every minute, every hour, every day? It's like every time this was the same kind of complaints I would get. And I'm like, I'm struggling with the same thing. And my answer was always, you need more willpower, stick to the habits, make new habits, more discipline, more self-control, brute force it. Just do it for 60 days, make it a habit, just do it. Because that's what every productivity app, guru, course, book, journal, that's what they all preach. But what I realized was that I was wrong. What I was telling them was exactly why the productivity industry has failed us. Okay. What do you think about this so far?
This is good. Yeah, this is really, you're hitting the problem exactly. Now, I can relate to this. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. My only question is, can other people relate to it?
Yeah, yesterday
I think they probably can.
If they're entrepreneurs, they can relate to it.
Yeah, for sure, because everyone's probably done the same type of thing. So no, this is good. Not only this, but it's also selling your productivity system as well. Because the next thing, because people are going to be like, all right, I want the solution, but I also want that double your productivity system too, which you can either include that as a bonus or an upsell.
I see. Yeah. It is. So what we are doing now is it's a bonus. And it's not just the system, but actually done with you, as in the morning routine done with you. Yeah. So we've included, because normally we sell that as like $149 a month, but right now, because we're doing this early stage rollout, I'm including it as part of the deal.
Yeah.
But you'll see that. But I realized that I was wrong. What I was telling them was exactly why the productivity industry has failed us all. It's not your fault that your productivity has been erratic. There is something much, much deeper at play here. And I realized there's a big gap. There's a gap between knowing the productivity principles, having great productivity systems, having great intentions for a productive day, and actually following the productivity principles and habits and systems to the T every moment, every minute, every hour, every day. Because if you fall off the wagon every few minutes, you're done. Your productivity is doomed, right? So it's like pushing a boulder up this hill. You're constantly trying. Every day we're trying to push, every day. We're using up all our motivation, all our willpower to push it, only to falter at it again and again and again. And we're like, more willpower, more discipline, more brute force, more habits. And we keep falling. We keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. We just can't seem to figure out what's going on. Have you ever struggled with this, being unable to consistently follow through on your productivity principles, systems, and habits? And as a result, your productivity is up and down all the time. Maybe You're feeling excited about a new productivity book or a system or a habit one day, but not sticking to it a few hours or a few days later. It happens to all of us. Or maybe you've constantly been trying new solutions only to find yourself back in the same place all the freaking time. You see, I realized why I was failing and why everyone fails at this game of productivity again and again and again. And it all came to me at the gym. I had just finished a group fitness class and I was feeling so damn good, buzzing with energy, feeling a pretty good high from the workout. Not only that, it was my 6th workout of the week, always doing it at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., not random times like 5:17 p.m. or 6:23 p.m. But then I thought about the week prior. I was trying to work out by myself. I didn't show up to the gym every day. On the days I did show up, it was random. Tuesday, Monday, no show, not feeling like it. Tuesday, 5:23, Wednesday, 7:38, Thursday, no show. Friday, friends called me, so I couldn't make it. Saturday, 12:40 p.m. Sunday is chilling time. And that's how my life was at the time. But not only were my workouts random and unpredictable, when I did show up, I didn't really follow a structure. I just randomly banged some weights. And working out by myself, I never really pushed myself. I was just going through the motions. My motivation energy levels were pretty low. So that was me doing the workout by myself compared to when I was in the group fitness class. So what really changed? Well, 3 things that changed everything. The first was external accountability. You see, in a group fitness class, there's external accountability. Show up on time. If you're late, you can't enter. External accountability to follow the workout. If you don't, you look like a fool. And accountability to finish the workout. If you don't, you look weak, right? And there are 3 kinds of accountability: the instructor, the other participants, and the social construct of it all. Now, I felt the power of that accountability. External accountability eliminated the need for willpower and self-control, because I'm not second guessing myself. Should I not? Maybe later. No need for thinking any of that. And then the second thing that changed everything was the external structure. External structure, all you have to do is follow the structure and you have a great workout.
Yeah.
Without that external structure, you're like, should I do this? Should I do that? What workout? Analysis, paralysis, what next? Do I want to push myself today? Nah, not feeling like it today. Maybe take it easy tomorrow. And that tomorrow never comes. You see, the constraint of that external structure frees you up to give your very best every single time, not wasting any mental energy on thinking about anything else. Instead, giving all your energy to doing the work. So that externally imposed structure of time, it forces me to stick to that structure, to start on time, to end on time, no more excuses. And that helps me structure my own time, because now I know I have to show up at 5, so I better do my other things accordingly, right? Now, the third thing that changed everything was external motivation. You see, when I'm trying to work by myself, I have to spend all my motivation and willpower to push myself. It depletes my willpower, it depletes my motivation. And I have to use external, but when I use external motivation to get charged up when working out in a group fitness class, I don't have to use my motivation, my willpower, my self-discipline, my self-control. Instead, the presence of others, the presence of the instructor charges me up, charges up my motivation and pushes. And I push myself to give my very best every single time. And a lot of times I walk away with more motivation and more energy than I came in with. I leave the workout feeling that I have a lot more energy, willpower, motivation than I came in with. So it's almost like it's a motivation charger. So when you walk in, if you compare, when you're working out by yourself, you need willpower, you need motivation, and your batteries get depleted. While when you're in a fitness class, group fitness class, you feel motivated, you feel energized, and your batteries get recharged. And that's why it's a motivation charger being in this group fitness environment. And that's when I realized something deeper. Anyone can have high performance once in a while, work out at the gym for 2 hours, push really hard one day, and then disappear from the gym for 3 days. Anyone can be very productive and follow productivity systems or courses or books or habits or apps once in a while, every few hours, every few days, every few weeks. But as I found out, when you're not being consistently productive every moment, every hour, every day, you're forced to work 16-hour days instead of finishing it all in 6 hours of focused work. And your business growth slows and your girlfriend decides to break up with you. Okay, so is this all kosher so far?
Yeah, this is good. This is really good. Yeah.
So yeah, so you see the game of life is not won by those who have high performance once every few hours or few days. It's won by those who have consistently high performance every single moment, every single hour they work, not just when they feel like it. And as I learned from my group fitness classes, the best way to have consistently high performance is by forcing ourselves to take action using forcing functions. The best forcing functions have these 3 elements: external, live, human accountability, external live human imposed structure, and external live human motivation, as we saw from the group fitness class. This triad that forces action is what's called live human forcing function. This triad of external live human accountability, external live human imposed structure, and external live human motivation. Live because it's happening right now. It's not recorded. It's happening in this moment. And the human component, it's real. No apps, not robots, not journal prompts sitting in a journal, not videos sitting in a course portal. No, it's real human live right now. And it's a forcing function because it forces us to step up and do our very best because of the people, forces us to follow a structure, forces us to show up, forces us to follow the protocols. So it's the triad of the live human forcing function that forces us to step up and give our very best. And it's all possible because, and only possible because of a live community. Because without the live community, you can't do this because it requires that live, external live human element to it. So only in the presence of live human forcing functions do we stop procrastinating. We start to give our very best. We follow structures and routines. We don't need any more willpower, motivation, self-control, and self-discipline anymore when we have these live human forcing functions. And not just any forcing function, but the key is live human forcing functions. The higher you want to perform, the more powerful these live human forcing functions need to be. Now, this is where I actually wanted to add like how CEOs and athletes, they all have these live human forcing functions of accountability and team members and boards and all that stuff, but I didn't do that. But is this all coming together so far?
Yeah, no, this is good. This is good. Yeah.
And then I thought to
relate.
I
think everyone can relate to these. So.
And then I thought to myself, working out by myself is always up and down, but working out using live human forcing functions is extremely effective. So if I want to perform at the highest levels every day, every hour, every week, I need live human forcing functions for one of the most important areas of my life, the area of life that makes me money, which is my work. So I thought, why not create something where I can leverage the power of live human forcing functions to supercharge my productivity so that I would never have to depend on my inconsistent willpower, motivation, and habits to get my best work done every single day. And instead of using up all our motivation and willpower all the time to bridge the gap between knowing the productivity principles and actually following the productivity principles, systems, and habits every moment, instead we go to here where we're finally being productive every moment we work, because now we actually follow the principles and habits and systems because we have live human forcing functions which create the external structure, give the motivation, and create accountability.
Yeah.
Does this graphic and all make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yep. Really
good. So I set out to build this, and how do we implement this live human forcing function? That was the question. Now, there was a guy named Manish Sethi who figured out something cool. Frustrated with his inability to focus for long periods of time, he hired a woman for $8 an hour on Craigslist to sit and work alongside him and slap him every time he got. Do you remember this one?
Yeah.
So then I have the video of this guy, literally.
Yeah.
So he said his productivity went up from 34% to 90% as well as a woman sitting next to him ready to slap him. Now, it's a pretty cool live human forcing function, but if he would have to hire her full-time to sit alongside him and slap him every time, he would have to pay her just around $1,920 per month to hire her full-time for just $8 an hour. And I don't know if you know, but even Elon Musk retweeted this one because he thought this was just total badass. So you can imagine, even Elon believes in live human forcing functions, right, even if he never coined that term. So no, I didn't ask someone to sit next to me and slap me every time I got distracted. Instead, I started experimenting. So I created a live Zoom video room. Participants would join the Zoom room to get work done, hoping that the Zoom room was enough to create a live human forcing function to trigger high performance. But just the Zoom room turned out to be a dud. People were distracted all over the place using phones, social media. Some kept cameras on, most of them off. You could see people playing on their phones, constantly distracted. It was hardly a high performance, deep work environment. It felt like a distracted place, not a focused place, not a high performance work environment. Because of others being distracted, it gave everyone permission to be distracted. Yeah, you were in a community, but you were not focused because there was no accountability, structure, or motivation to perform at your very best. So then I said, okay, let's create structure. So I wrote out a 5-minute focus ritual that everyone must follow before starting their work in order to have a super productive hour. But then what happened was that people didn't follow the ritual. It takes a lot of willpower and discipline to do any kind of ritual or follow any kind of structure by yourself, especially trying to do it every hour you work. That's very hard because your mental energy is being just spent doing the work, just doing the work. But I knew that focus ritual is the key to productivity. I knew that focus ritual was crucial for high performance. Without it, people would default to old ways of being distracted, being all over the place, scattered, no clear intention. However, I also found out that trying to do the focus ritual by yourself is draining on your already limited willpower. Yes, you're in a community, but if you don't do the ritual, don't hold yourself to it, you won't be productive. I saw that all the time. So back to the drawing board again. And then just like a fitness instructor, I thought, okay, why don't we appoint a focus guide, a focus instructor? So the focus guide leads the group through the entire focus ritual. That was their number one job, every step of the way, the whole 5 minutes. And all people have to do is follow along the focus ritual as the guide is leading them through the steps. Now, what happened was every participant started doing the ritual every time the focus guide led them through it. And why did that happen? Because they did not have to spend their own mental energy to lead themselves through it. It was done for them. So that was the accountability force. My life focus guide was leading the ritual. Now I had a new problem. People were joining and leaving it at random times, treating it like a gym rather than a group fitness class, like joining a group fitness class in the middle of the class and leaving the group fitness whenever they felt like it. There was no structure. So we needed that externally imposed structure. So we created a new structure. You can only join at the top of the hour and you can't join in the middle of the hour. So focus guide won't even let you in, and you must stay for the duration of the hour. Now, why was this important? Because it enforces discipline, it enforces punctuality, and it creates structure in your business, in your life, in your day-to-day happenings. So we created more structure, not only the ritual, but also joining at the top of the hour. We created more accountability. The focus guide won't let you in if you're late. We won't let you procrastinate. And the focus guide leads you through the entire focus ritual. Now I had to refine it again. So we refined the structure even more, breaking down the entire 60-minute chunk into 5:55 structure, starting at the top of the hour and led by a trained focus guide every single time. 5-minute focus ritual to get you into focus state, 50 minutes of deep work to do deep focused work without distractions, cameras on, everyone on mute, and 5 minutes of recharge ritual, time to relax, recharge, and rejuvenate. So here are some of the things that happen in the 5-minute focus ritual. The guide leads you through a 5-minute focus ritual. Some of the things that the guide will ask you to do is to focus on the most important project right now. Turn off all distractions, put the phone on do not disturb, put it 6 feet away from you, turn off all notifications on your computer, email, Skype, social media, Slack, all that crap. And in the group chat, you make a commitment to what you will work on during this hour, and you keep your Zoom camera on throughout because that forces a much higher level of accountability on you. And we ask you to do single tasking, not multitasking. Stay on one task, finish it before moving on to the next thing. And as a result of these asks and commitments, everyone is now in high performance mode, wanting to get work done. And then the next phase is the 50-minute deep focus work session. The focus guide ushers you into 50-minute deep focus work session. Everyone's put on mute, so nobody can distract anyone in the room. The group and the individual chat is off, so nobody can distract you. Your Zoom camera is on, creating a high sense of accountability. And as a result of the structure, accountability, commitment, and community, you don't give in to distractions. You don't try and multitask. You stay focused on your important tasks for the block. And then there's a 5-minute recharge ritual, which happens from 55 minutes to 59 minutes of the hour, where the focus guide now ushers you into that specific ritual. Everyone comments, everyone kind of shares what they accomplished during the 50-minute work sprint in the chat. We celebrate our wins. We do some precise breathing exercise to relax the nervous system, lower your stress levels so you're ready for the next block. And we do some stretching. We take a break for water, bio, and then we start it all over again. So we basically incorporated all the elements of structure, accountability, and motivation into this 5:55 structure. And now, because it's the top of the hour, you're going to start the next focus block again. And then we made it available 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, so that you can hop on a new block at the top of the hour and you're never alone when working. The community is always there with you. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep. That's good.
Was it boring at any time? Like, as I was explaining what we're doing?
We'll have to see. I'm not sure if you need to go into exactly how it works so much, but although I think there is some explanation needed of how it works.
Yeah, I think like I struggled with this idea because otherwise they don't even know. Like, they're like, oh, that's a great claim, but I have no idea why it would actually work or what's going on.
Yeah.
So what's creating this?
I think this does make sense. I think this makes sense to do at this point.
Yeah. So then there's a graphic of the whole structure. 5-minute focus ritual, 50 minutes, 5-minute recharge ritual. And it's like talking about the fact that we're implementing the best strategies from the best productivity books ever written. We're literally putting it all together in these chunks of time. So we build the world's most focused workspace where deep focused work is the norm. We do deep focused work every moment, every hour, not once every few hours, not once every few days, but 24 hours a day. And leveraging the power of live human forcing functions possible because of this live community. And then I talk about how 1 month after creating and using focus blocks, I went from working till 11 p.m. to finishing my work days by 2 p.m. Now I had even more time than my girlfriend, and I was going on hikes every afternoon and started spending 2 hours in the evening with my girlfriend because I had that much time available because of focus blocks. So how would your life transform if you could finish your day's work in half the time? What would you do? Spend more time with your loved ones, mend your relationships, pursue hobbies, work out more often, have more fun in life, achieve bigger goals. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm sure you have a lot. And let me share some results from our members. Our members have been getting using focus blocks, and now it's testimonials of highly skeptical people. Like this guy, he's like, dude, I was so skeptical for months. You sent emails about it, but I did not sign up. I thought I didn't need focus blocks because I'm a seasoned entrepreneur. I've been a business owner for 10 years. I thought I have all this in willpower and self-control to be focused and get work done. However, once I tried, everything changed. Everything changed for me. Focus blocks literally doubled my hourly productivity with zero effort on my part. It's like, this is magic.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Then there's a whole bunch of testimonials, like Akash again, like he tried everything. And people talking about it, testimonial. I'll read out. Using focus blocks, I accomplished more in 2 hours than I used to accomplish in a whole day. No exaggeration. This is mind blowing. Juma Artema, CEO of Anika Home Care, Richfield, Minnesota. Avery Pollex, using focus blocks, I get higher quality work done in half the time compared to usual. Owner of a software consultancy. Then Kylie, as a result of using focus blocks, I had my highest revenue month in the last 12 months. And then it's a long testimonial that I guess I'll read out parts of it. And then this guy, med student, he's like, I'm in med school and I spend a lot of time solving practice questions for my exams. Before focus blocks, it used to take me 4 to 5 hours to solve 40 questions. Using focus blocks, now I solve 40 questions in 2 hours. Focus blocks have literally doubled my productivity. Literally, I'm MD, like our MD candidate at University of Pennsylvania. And this guy's a teacher. He's like, using focus blocks, I get 2 hours of work done in 1 hour consistently. Then this guy, he's like, what would have taken me 1 month got done in 1 week using focus blocks. This guy is an entrepreneur in the online tutoring business in Australia. So as you can see, it works consistently. And the thing is, the only way to have consistently high productivity every hour, every moment, every day you work is to leverage the power of live human forcing functions so that you never have to depend on your motivation, willpower, and habits in order to be highly productive. Okay, so this is where kind of the domino statement is being made to establish everything we have said.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty compelling. Like, I don't think it's very difficult to argue with what you're saying here. I think this is solid. This is very solid.
Love it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Ultimately, all of these popular productivity solutions will fail you. Your willpower here this moment, gone a few minutes from now. Your habits here 2 weeks ago, gone today. Your systems here today, not being implemented a week later. Your discipline so fleeting that you can't resist the cookie in front of you more than an hour. And then I rephrase this again. So here it is. The only way to have consistently, and I don't know which one is better. The only way to have consistently high productivity every moment, every hour you work is to never have to depend on your willpower, discipline, motivation, habits, or systems. Instead, you need to use forcing functions that force you to do be highly productive no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think of this domino statement versus this one?
The second one is more powerful.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the second one was rewritten after a few tries.
Yeah.
And then I say, so the second one says, the only way to have consistently high productivity every moment, every hour you work is to never have to depend on your willpower, discipline, motivation, habits, or systems. Instead, you need to use forcing functions that force you to be highly productive no matter what. Yeah. Without live human forcing functions, your productivity will be highly inconsistent and you will forever be looking for the next shiny system or habit or book or app to solve your productivity challenges. Yeah. And then talking about how focus blocks work for everyone. What are focus blocks? Live 60-minute co-working sessions precisely engineered to double your hourly productivity, no motivation required. Unlike a group fitness class that you have to drive to, which can seem like a lot of work, for focus blocks, you just need a 9-second trigger to 9 seconds to trigger the live forcing function. Step 1, open your browser. Step 2, click on the focus block Zoom link. And step 3 is join the room.
Okay.
This is the 9-second forcing function trigger that doubles your productivity.
Yeah.
Once you do this, open the browser, click on the Zoom link, join the focus block. Now the focus block's live human forcing function takes over and doubles your productivity on demand.
Yeah.
So then kind of explaining a little more about the ritual and how that works and saying, okay, it's like a study hall, but from the comfort of your own home, always on, precisely engineered for deep flow, structured to give structure to your days, just a click away. Now, here's where I was thinking, should I talk more about the external accountability and the external structure and external motivation? Because those were the 3 pillars.
I think you already sold it here. I don't know if you need to go anymore. Like
You're compelled.
I feel like you've already, yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to go, because I was like, okay, let me tell them even more of what's going on without focus blocks versus using focus blocks.
I think they get it at this point. Yeah.
So I talk about like 10 hours of grind versus 4 hours of focus blocks, extreme intentionality, no distractions, no more procrastination, tap into community energy, never feel lonely, structure your hours and your days, hit deep flow states in 5 minutes without fail.
Okay, here's what I would say. Make the pitch and then
start going into these one at a time.
After the pitch, because you already sold people. People are going to buy here. If they're not convinced and they're still on, then go over all of this other stuff. I
see. Okay. So you feel like at this point, I've already sold them on the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like right when at the domino statement, this is when I can go into the pitch, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Then do the pitch there. And then afterwards, you can have the rest of those slides, and then do the pitch one more time.
Okay. So what will you do when you double your hourly product? So this is where the pitch comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
And cut your work hours in half, double your goals, spend more time on things you enjoy, pursue new passions, spend time with people who matter the most. And this is literally my story from last year when I went to India for 3 months back from July to October. My mom was really depressed, so I had to go take care of her, and she needed a lot of care, literally all the time. And I could only work 4 hours a day on most days before she woke up or while she was busy with something. And still, I had the best quarter date because I was working in focus blocks and finishing more than days work in 4 hours. So, and to me, this is one of the proudest accomplishments of all the business things I do, because I can spend time with the people who need me, right? Now, here's the thing. The better you are at maximizing productivity, the worse you can be at everything else and still be a big success in business and life, because you're literally outworking your competition by a factor of 2x. Have you heard the saying, time is money? Well, time is not money, but if you use the same amount of time to make double the money you used to make, well, it's a pretty good bargain, right? Now, let me show you how you can get this powerful tool today for less than 1% of the monetary value it will create for you.
Okay. You might have to revisit that statement.
Okay. Or maybe I'll just take it out because I see what's, So what you get today, live hourly focus blocks, and how much is your time worth? Assuming you work 40 hours a week, that's 2,000 hours per year. At $100,000 revenue, your time is worth $50 an hour. At $1 million, it's worth $500 an hour. So if you're making $100,000 per year, your time is worth $50 per hour. What if you could double your hourly work output using focus blocks like the majority of our members? What would the value created look like using focus blocks? If you just use 1 hour of focus blocks, you create $100 in value instead of 50. But if you do 40 hours of focus blocks in a week, you create $4,000 of value instead of 2,000. That's like $2,000 of additional value created. You see, when you double your hourly work output using focus blocks, you have a few choices to make. You can double your results. You can cut down your work hours in half. You can do 6 days of work in 3 days and take 4-day weekends as often as you like. Or you can do 2 weeks of work in 1 week and take a week off every other week. I don't know what's it for fun for you, but I think all of these are something that you should try. Now, here's the great part. We don't just give you focus blocks a few focus blocks a month, because that itself would be enough value. We give you unlimited focus blocks 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Now, where does the value of unlimited focus blocks 24 hours a day? Now, if you are making $50 an hour, in a month, you work 166 hours, which is standard. Instead of creating $8,300 in value, you start creating $16,600 in value. So the additional value created in 1 month of doing focus blocks is $8,300 in value. Now, you may not see the results of this value in 1 week or 2 weeks, just as maybe I shouldn't say that, because for some people it actually could be. So what is the value of focus blocks to you? If you make $100,000 a year, it's an additional $8,300 per month in value for you. If you make $50,000 a year, it's an additional $4,000 plus per month in value. So if I charge you $1,000 per month, it's still a pretty great deal for you. Now, I wanted to make it accessible to every knowledge worker in the world. So here's what I did. I make it available to you for just $299 a month. Now, here's what you get. You get live hourly focus blocks 24 hours a day, Monday to Friday, for $299 a month. Not only that, you also get live weekend focus blocks, because some of us want to work on weekends. We got you covered. Imagine being able to knock off 4 to 5 works of work any given weekend without breaking a sweat. And then you can go enjoy your weekend skill-free. So we give you 10 hours of weekend blocks, Saturdays and Sundays. So that itself is worth $99 a month in value that you get. And then you get live weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual review and planning workshops. These live planning workshops will help you align with your vision, your biggest goals, get clarity on what you accomplished last week, last month, last quarter, last year, so that you can move forward with confidence and correct course quickly. Not only that, these are designed to plan your week, your month, your quarter, your year, so that you know exactly what you need to work on any given week, any given month, quarter, or year. These live guided workshops are there to ensure that you attend them live and get the planning done. We're not expecting these to you to do it by yourself, because you may not. These are done live, just like our live focus blocks. So we throw that in as for you as well, which is $99 a month in value. You get that. Now you get live double your productivity in 19 minutes per day morning routine. Remember the course I told you about, Double Your Productivity by 5 I created a better version of it called Double Your Productivity in 19 minutes a day. And I created a morning routine version of it. So how would you like your morning routine done for you every single day? Every day, Monday through Friday, we conduct these live 19-minute calls where a trained guide leads you through a precisely engineered morning routine designed to double your productivity. In the live daily morning routine call, you will meditate, write your goals, align with your vision, create a burning desire for your goals using very specific exercise. You will visualize, you will review the previous day, you will plan your today, and you will put things in the calendar, and you start your day with extreme clarity. Now, normally we charge currently on our website, it's $149 a month. But right now you get it as a bonus when you sign up today. Another bonus I want to throw in is how to finish 3 days of work in 1 day using the Vihqb protocol. Now, what would you do if you could do 3 days of work in 1 day without breaking a sweat? No, you will break a sweat, let me tell you. But 3 days of work in 1 day, how would your life transform if you could do 3 days of work in 1 day on demand whenever you want, and not feeling stressed the way you do right now, feeling burnt out, just doing 1 day of work? Well, when you do 3 days of work in 1 day, you triple your goal achievement speed. You crush your competitors. You become a lethal threat in this world, and you are officially dangerous, my friend. You've just unlocked the next level in life, and I'm going to give that protocol to you. So that is $200 in value, how to finish 3 days of work in 1 day using the Vihqb protocol. And in addition, you get a bonus goal setting and goal achievement workshop 6-hour video course. If you're unclear on your vision, not sure how to set goals the right way, want to set the right kind of goals for your business and life, want to know how to achieve your biggest goals with speed, well, I've got that all covered. A complete goal setting, goal achievement workshop for you, done with you. Just jump into it, get it done. It's $200 in value. You get that as a bonus right now when you join. Not only that, you get double your productivity in 19 minutes per day, the system and the video course, the entire 5-step system that helps you double your productivity in just 19 minutes a day. That's included. It's $497 in value. We sell it. We give it to you as part of the bonus right now. Then my other course, Never Procrastinate Again video course. If you struggle with procrastination, not getting your most important work, in the Never Procrastinate Again system, I'll give you a simple 3-step fill in the blank system to ensure that you'll never procrastinate on your big projects again. We sell this currently on our website for $497, but right now you get it as a bonus. And then you get bonus 27 strategic goal accelerators and unblockers. If you're ever stuck, unable to make progress towards your big goals, if you need inspiration on how to move faster towards your goals, if you want to figure out ways to achieve your goals and have the time, if you're struggling with speed, you want to move faster, use these 27 strategic goal accelerators and unblockers anytime and start moving faster. And that $100 in value you get right now. And not only that, you get bonus 8 live goals accelerator group coaching calls with me. So if you need help or guidance on any of these issues, which is setting big goals, setting your annual, quarterly, monthly goals, big goals, small goals, BHAGs, SMART goals, how to move faster, how to make 2 years of progress in a year, how to set goals that actually achieve them, how to achieve more without working long hours, whatever you need in terms of goal strategy, I'm there to help you. So these are live weekly group coaching calls with me. You get 8 weeks of these group coaching calls with me, 8 weeks of live goals accelerator with me. Now my business clients, coaching clients, they pay me $1,000 a month for my 4 weeks of group coaching with me. So these 8 weeks of live coaching calls are worth $2,000. And that's a bonus you're getting right now. So here's the total value of everything you get. $3,294 plus $747 per month in value right now. Now, if you add it up for a year, you get a total of $3,294 plus $8,964. It's a total of $12,258 in value right now. And I'm going to throw in a surprise bonus, which is 1 month free focus blocks for 5 of your friends and colleagues. Focus blocks currently sells for $300 a month. So that's like $1,500 in free value you can give to your friends. And you can have that as well. So I'm not going to charge you $12,258, but even if I did charge you $12,258, if all this did was finally help you double your goals, double your goal achievement speed, achieve double your goals this year, and be the winner you know you are, prove your doubters wrong once and for all, would you pay me $12,258 to achieve double your goals this year? What would that mean for your business, for your career? What's your big goal worth to you? How much would you pay to accomplish your biggest goal this year? What did you write? Because I asked them to write it earlier.
Oh, okay.
How much is your big goal worth? You see, if you made an additional $100,000, would you pay me $12,258? You can see why it's a great deal, but I have something special for you since you're on the call with me and I know you are someone who's serious about this. So when you think about the value you create when using focus blocks, the additional value you're creating in focus blocks any given time, it's huge, right? I don't know why I just repeated. So if I charge you, you can see why it's a great deal, but I have something special for you since you're on a call. I wanted to make it accessible to every knowledge worker in the world out there. So right now, instead of paying $12,258, you're just going to pay $997 to get this deal. Assuming you make $50 per hour, your $997 investment will pay off in just a few hours. Because if you did 20 hours of work in focus blocks, instead of creating $1,000 in value, you'll create $2,000 in value. And that's your $1,000 investment right back at you. And then this is a little testimonial of you talking about trust. And then 30-day money back guarantee. Yeah. And there's like a bunch of other things, but yeah. So this is the offer.
Your price point is too low. $997 is way too low. I think you need to be at least at $2,000 here.
Yeah, and I will do that. Like this is the initial trial phase. So I'm just going to give people that opportunity right now to get in while I'm testing the webinar.
Yeah. I still think you should probably open it at $2,000 here. I really think $997 is too low.
Okay.
For the value that you're offering there.
So is the value cemented in the person's mind? Like, can they see themselves?
And 2,000 is actually too low too. I mean, I think start at 2,000, but you should be able to sell this at least $3,000, maybe even higher than that. I mean, if you're selling this to entrepreneurs, you might even be able to sell this for $5,000.
Yeah. The funny thing was like, I actually tried to hack a couple of funnels. One of the funnels I tried to hack was Stephen Kotler's Flow
Oh yeah.
Collective,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And I got on a call with them because I wanted to hack the funnel, right? So it
Yeah.
was a sales call. And I was like, yeah, man, the problem is that I've tried to build all these habits and systems in the past and I keep falling off the habits.
Right.
He's like, well, because you didn't know, you didn't build the habit. I'm like, no, I tried. I like 30 days, 60 days, just didn't work. He's like, no, because you see, you weren't serious about building the habit. I'm like, but no, I tried building the habit and I tried using the system. He's like, no, but the thing is, you have to freaking keep doing the habit. I'm like, you see, that's the hard part. That's what I keep failing at. He's like, yeah, but that's exactly what we're telling you. Like, you will work with us, and in 8 weeks, you will have the habit done. And I'm like, well, actually, not, because I've tried that in the past where I've tried to build habits for even 2 weeks, 2 months, and then I keep falling off them. He's like, well, that's just because you're not serious. And as I was going through that conversation, I finally realized most of the conversation in the productivity space is people trying to change me.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm saying, you don't need to change.
Right.
Just show up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Stop trying to change yourself and stop fighting this battle that you will never win. You will freaking die of gray hair before you'll win this battle of willpower and habits and routines and disciplines. We're human. We're flawed. Stop trying this madness. Instead, use your willpower for something better. Use your willpower and your motivation and your discipline for other things in life. Don't abuse it when you don't need to.
Yeah. No, right? This is solid. This is, like I said, I mean, I think you should definitely start this out at least $2,000. I would not do $1,000. It's just, you know, I'm even hesitant to say two, but I guess two. I mean, because really three is, I think you can clearly justify a $3,000 price tag here, very, very easily.
Oh, that's good, man.
One thing, like, even if you break this down, like if you, let's say you make a $2,000 price tag here, I would have another slide that says $2,000 is literally just less than $200 a month for, you know, I think the weakest thing that you have in this presentation is the hourly rate thing. I'm not sure if you even want to do that at all. Maybe you have a different way of spelling out the value, but it just feels like, I don't know, like it's too much of a stretch. Like, people don't really value their time at their hourly rate. Like, they're not really going to believe they're going to double their hourly rate. Like, it's setting up the wrong expectation, because say that I make $50 an hour or $100,000 a year. Like, I'm not realistically going to believe that I'm going to make $200,000 this year, especially because you're going to have a lot of entrepreneurs, but you're also going to have a lot of people that are working regular jobs that are, you know, CEOs and stuff like that. And they're not going to believe they're going to double their income, because doubling their productivity and doubling their income is not the same thing. And when those slides, you're kind of equating it to the same thing, which is going to create an unrealistic expectation and an unbelievable one. So I would just take out those slides or replace them with something that is more, you know, you might not even need it at all, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like that kind of detracts from it, because then it takes them off of the. So
I was trying to figure out how to like equate the value of the price they paid to what they're buying, right? It's trying to give them some perspective. So is like, what you're saying is, okay, the $50 per hour or the dollar per hour thing is not really helping, right? But is there any other way to kind of, or do you think because the argument has been made about time usage, that is enough of an argument, the way it has been made, that we don't need to go into the $100 per hour, $50 per hour conversation?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you're going to charge $1,000 a month, then you would need that, right? But which you could literally, the way you set this up, I think someone would pay $500 a month for this system.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's not a stretch. $500 a month, $6,000 a year. I mean, shit, how much you pay for a co-working space, right? $500 a month.
$400 a month, easy. And it's not even freaking as productive as this shit.
Yeah, heck. I mean, I think you could even potentially pull off $1,000 a month price tag with this, to be honest with you. So, in fact, maybe that's even what you kind of do with that side. Just say, hey, look, you know, if this was $1,000 a month, this would be totally worth it, because, you know, to pay to have that kind of productivity, like to double your productivity, you know, anyone would pay $1,000 a month to double their productivity, which is true. And
well,
then,
that's where you have to like, I have to make that connection for them, why they would pay $1,000 a month to double their productivity, right? I have to make it tangible for them.
yeah. That's where I think it's more of like,
that's when I guess that's when I would have to sell it on sale on phone call. Like I'm beyond $2,000, it would have to sold on phone call. Cannot be done on webinar at that point.
But I mean, just with what you have now, I mean, you can certainly with the webinar sell this for $2,000. Because like I said, you could sell this for $1,000 a month. You could certainly sell for $500 a month, right? So that's why I feel like you might be underpricing it, because even at $2,000 total, I feel like that is just too damn cheap. Which is, I guess that's good. I mean, see how that works. See what your conversion is at that.
Yeah. I think this is where testing comes into play, because now I don't really have to, like, the key was like, can I sell or can I create the perceived value of a $2,000 offer? At that point, it's whether $997 or $1,497 or $2,000, like that's all just pricing game. And
what's your cost of goods sold at the $2,000 or on this?
On every additional user, $0.
Well, I know, but like if you take your capacity, like what's the cost to deliver
we
this
don't hit
service?
Capacity till we get to 1,000 active users on a Zoom call.
So okay, good. Okay, so yeah, so it's not, so your cost
additional
decreases with each additional.
Yeah. So we don't mind. Like I don't like. There's no fulfillment cost on my part.
Well, I mean, there is fulfillment costs. Like you got to have like,
it's already built in. Like it's already done. There's no additional fulfillment cost for every new user.
It's a fixed fulfillment cost.
Yeah. And at some point, I'm going to take out my group coaching calls, because these are the only costs that would have any relation to my work. Then it would just be like all turnkey. This whole system is turnkey sold.
Yeah. I wonder if you even just add the group coaching calls as an upsell in here.
Well, the upsell will be the quantum leap.
Oh, okay. Because you don't need, but yeah, no, this is, I mean, you should be able to sell this. This should be a slam dunk. I feel like at $2,000.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. I mean, shit, man. I've been slaving away at this shit for the last 2 weeks, because I initially created one and I tried to, like, I pitched it last week and it had conversions, but it was like, I felt it was very rocky because I was taking a different angle.
Oh, no, I like this angle with the group fitness class that connects the two dots together. And it's like, because everyone understands that, believes that that's true. Everyone understands the frustration of starting their day at 7, but then it's really 7:27 and checking their email and all that stuff. So that those two things get connected by the group fitness. The same solution, if that works for group fitness, why does not work for activity? Of course it does, right? And so, and then you have and then I like how you've gone through the trial of like how you developed the system and how you tried what didn't work before. Because it's not just a simple, because I think one of the biggest objections people have is, okay,
it's just a Zoom room.
Right. Exactly. But it's not just a Zoom room, right? That's the thing. So that you've overcome that objection. That's the strongest objection that anyone would have to this is, right? Like, why can't I just set up a Zoom room with my friends or whatever, so I think that was the thing that was like tripping me up as well, because so many people would just say, oh, it's just a Zoom room. And I'm like, no, Zoom rooms suck. But then having to explain that would be like, well, because of this and this and this and this and this, is so much to explain to really understand like the deep value inside of this compared to a Zoom room by itself. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I think that this will be a very easy sell based on this webinar. The only other thing you'll have to check is the length of it, like the time, because you may get some people that like, I think you got to keep this within an hour and a half.
Yeah. It will go to hour and a half. Like when I'm usually like at 250 slides is right around an hour mark for me, an hour and a half mark for me, 250 to 300 slides.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, this is really, really solid. So
I had a very interesting,
I said huge amount of value there. So
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I like when you said I can relate to it early, like in halfway into it, I was like, if John can relate to it, anyone can relate to it, because you would be the extreme end of the spectrum, because you're all about the discipline and the hard work and the motivation and the, self-discipline and more willpower and routines and habits and all that stuff. So if you could relate to it, then I was like, okay, then every other entrepreneur should be able to relate to it, because it's so real.
Well, and the thing is, my system that I use works perfectly, except that I don't perfectly follow the system.
Exactly.
Right. So that's a lot
what
of
you
days
just said there. I should capture it, because it's the difference between. That's exactly what I'm trying to sell here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Every system works perfectly, but we humans are imperfect.
Right.
Yeah. And every system out there is trying to tell you that I have a perfect system, while not taking care of the fact that we humans are imperfect.
Right.
And no matter how perfect the system, will frick it up, unless there is unless there's a forcing function involved. That's when we step up and we play the biggest game in life. Every big game in life we play is because of a forcing function.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing I tell my coaching clients all the time. They're like, I know what I need to do. I just can't get it done. Like, how do I stay?
They need focus blocks, man. And they need quantum leap, probably.
Yeah. Well, I tell them too. I'm like, I always use the example. I'm like, you show up for work every day, right? You show up on time. Like, why can you do that, but you can't do the other thing? They're like, well, because they have to. Yep. Exactly. Because you have to.
Yeah.
So as long as you think that the thing that you need to do in your life is optional, you won't do it. But as soon as you believe you have to do it, you will do it.
And the space that I'm trying to help people with is that nobody thinks that I have to keep my phone away. I have to turn off distractions. I have to make sure that I'm not, that my camera, like all of those things, those have to's don't happen unless you fall into this, where the forcing function, the external forcing function creates that have to, so you don't have to expend your own willpower and motivation to create that have to. Right. Yeah. I had an interesting conversation with my Facebook ads coach, and we were going through this webinar because I wanted to kind of get his take on it. So, and he had already seen my Focus Blocks sales page, my sales page previously.
Yeah,
he's the one who's been asking me to do the webinar and raise the prices a lot, because he's like, dude, it's going to be hard to sell at the price you were selling at.
Yeah.
So he started watching the webinar, right? And he's right around the point where, I make the case for why this is like the pain and the more pain and more pain. He's like, okay, so how does it work? Can you show me where that slide is? So I go into that. He's like, okay, so it's like, it's not 24 hours a day, right? I'm like, no, it is 24 hours a day. He's like, oh, interesting. And it's not like a live human every time, right? I'm like, no, there is a live human focus guide every single time. I was like, oh, damn. And it's not like there are people there all the time. I'm like, no, 24 hours a day, there are people there working. He's like, shit, man, I think I need this.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you saw the damn product, like the sales page. He's like, yeah, but dude, the webinar, that's why I told you need a webinar, because I couldn't grasp the reality of it until you kind of laid it out to me in the webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that what he said was the truth, right? Like, it's so hard to create value in people's mind without a proper sales mechanism.
Yeah.
Or without the right sales mechanism.
Now the question is, something to think about here is what's going to happen a year later after people buy this. They get a year worth of access.
No, it's per year. It's per year. Yeah.
So, are you going to have an option for them to be on a monthly
after
basis?
that?
Or they get to renew?
Yeah, they get so they will get into the automatic payment system of $9.97 per year. Or if they ever want to go to $2.99 a month, that's always, after that. But the only offer I'm making right now is $9.97 a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I would definitely make this at least $2,000 a year here.
Yeah.
I think I feel like that's way too cheap.
And I love it.
You could offer them, to a monthly afterwards at $300 a month. So
yeah, they can do $300 a month today, but we're offering $9.97 for the whole year with all of these bonuses.
Yeah.
like literally double your productivity in 90 minutes per day. The morning routine itself, we sell it right now on our website for $149 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm glad it's finally making sense after banging my head against the wall for the last probably 2 to 3 weeks on this.
When are you giving the first webinar on this, or the
tomorrow?
With this?
Well, this one I'm going to go live tomorrow.
Okay.
To my list, and depending on how it goes tomorrow, then again I'll start next week. I'll do a hybrid of my list plus cold traffic, or warm plus retargeted traffic and cold traffic.
Yeah.
I'll do one of that, and then just maybe record it and do an evergreen and start sending traffic to it and see what happens, what the conversions are like, and then try to fix it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we should definitely do a promo to my list as well. Get them.
I think this is like perfect for both your audiences.
Yeah, exactly. Both audiences.
Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah, once we evergreen this, I think once you evergreen yours and once I evergreen this, we're gonna have a lot of fun kind of cross promoting both of these products.
Yeah,
because finally we got like really valuable products that are also very high, like expensive, that we have a good sales mechanism for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, good, man. Thank you for putting the time. You guys got any big plans for the weekend?
Not really. Just some, nothing big, but.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess we should wrap it up. I
gave all my thoughts I could give.
Yeah.
In the last.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I guess we'll just wrap it up here then. All right.
Well, I'll just for the sake of you guys, the tradition you guys have built on the thoughts game, I think it's so important for you as entrepreneurs to showcase the value of your product, because you can have a great product, but if you can't explain the value, you can't create the value proposition in the mind of the customer, you will end up selling it as a commodity, never as a scintillating product.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess what I would say then is that, well, I mean, I'll go kind of different than what I've usually been talking about. Part of like being an entrepreneur is that some of the shit that you do is not going to work. Like previous success does not indicate future success, right? Just like I said with the self-confidence thing, right? If I were in a more early stage of being an entrepreneur, it might be more devastating. I might be like, what? I can't sell anything. It's never like, that's not the case. But at the same time, it doesn't matter how many successes you've had in the past, like something can flop. Like, I mean, it's like, you have to tweak it. You don't know what the problem is, right? Something like that. Is it the messaging? Is it the sales page? Is it like you have to look and investigate and figure out what is the issue if you're going to troubleshoot that. But you will find something where there is always an angle. There's always a way to sell something to make the product service work, whether it be the messaging, the offer, right? So there is something that you, and once you get that, that's all you need, right? The secret of business is finding something that works and repeat it over and over again. So the hard part of business is finding something that works.
It's true. It's true. Right? So, very, very, very true.
Yeah.
Finding something that works at scale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.